What's up, guys? Mark back here with another video. I figured I would do it live since I could get some live feedback. So today I want to kind of ask you guys, do you think that Sony's gear is too expensive? Sony puts out sales stats every so often and kind of lets us know how they're doing. If you're not familiar with how these companies do it, every quarter generally companies will get together, they'll have a nice big round table discussion with their investors and with the board, and they will ask each other, how did we do? Are we on the right path? Are we making enough money? Are we doing this, that, and the other correct so that we can stay profitable? How you doing, Sully? Glad you could join me. So Sony recently put out their sales numbers, and as it appears, Sony is in fact still profitable. But what they have done is they have dropped in sales. And I'm sitting here looking at the report right now. Unfortunately, I can't share it with you guys because we're live here. But they dropped sales by almost 2 million units. So yesterday I released a video kind of talking about Nikon's errors and how they have really messed up. Well, this is what I believe is basically happening to Sony. Sony dropped 2 million units. Okay, that is not a good sign. A lot of people would ask, is Sony's gear too expensive? There are a lot of people that are in a camera market. It's just not in the camera market like you and I would think of. Most of us have been photographers, videographers, enthusiast / professional level for such a long time that we tend to forget exactly what the average Joe, Uncle Joe that just wants to take photographs of his grandkids or whatever, we tend to forget what those kind of consumers are looking for. I try as much as I possibly can kind of keep in mind what's going on in those segments of the market, just because I have a photography channel, so it makes a lot of sense for me to try and stay as up to date with all that kind of stuff as I possibly can. But for Sony to kind of miss the mark on this whole thing really does concern me. 2 million units is a lot of units to lose, just right out of the gate. It's not like they've been in the camera game for an extremely long time. So for them to have a just absolute runaway success hit with the Sony a6000, a6300, it has yet to be determined whether the a6500 is actually a runaway hit or not. But I don't think that it bodes well. The A7 line is a much more professional line of cameras, lots more features, heavier on the FE glass. Every single lens in that line is, at least $800 or more. On occasion, you'll find one on sale or something for $600 or whatever. But a lot of the Sony glass in the FE line is just top tier. It is 100% high-end enthusiast and professional grade glass. With the Zeiss branding that tends to bring even more of a premium. But we've been saying it for an extremely long time that Sony's APS-C size cameras lack good glass, and they really do. There's no way to get around this problem, and if they ever intend to keep any level of grip on this segment of the market, the APS-C lens line has to expand. And it can't be cheap shit either. I think that is probably the reason why companies like Sigma are doing so well in the Sony E-mount lineup, because they are actually producing extremely good lenses for the APS-C line, where Sony is kind of not. I had a conversation with one of the product managers at Sony when I was down in Austin, Texas. I had an interview with him, and I put the interview up on my channel. I posted it, 2 or 3 months ago. You can look back through my videos. It's called An Interrogation of a Sony Product Manager. And he wouldn't tell me about any future plans whatsoever as far as what they are planning to do with the Sony APS-C line of lenses. I mean, it's ridiculous. Because there's no, like, hello, we've got some things in the works. Please don't go anywhere. We're working on it. But yeah, they just never, they never tell us. And usually it's always sort of like this big, it's like, dude, you're not Apple. You don't have to keep it a secret. You can tell me, but he wouldn't tell me. Okay, so a lot of other people also think that, that Sony's gear is entirely too expensive because of cell phones. iPhone 7 Plus, an amazing camera. Amazing video camera. I mean, and it has all the functionality that you could almost ever want. Sure, it doesn't have fantastic depth of field or whatever, but like I chose to go live on my phone rather than on a full-size computer. I've got my laptop right here. It's not like I'm hurting for top-of-the-line expensive gear. MacBook Pro, big 27-inch iMac in the room. But having my phone is literally more convenient than all of my cameras and all the expensive computers that I have. It literally is a matter of convenience in some cases. I would not be able to just pull out my computer and hit a button and then I would be live on my computer or this thing. So, I'm on a cell phone. The consumer level of cameras, the point and shoots, those kinds of things, they have their days numbered. It's not going to be very much longer, and you're not going to be seeing many point and shoots out there at your local Best Buy anymore. I mean, they're going. They will die off. The cameras on phones are getting so good to such an extent that the consumer grade market of cameras is going to disappear, but I'm also a little bit concerned about smaller sensors, say like the 1-inch sensor cameras, because usually cell phone camera sensors are pretty small, quite a bit smaller than 1-inch and APS-C, and obviously full frame. But it is not out of the realm of possibility that future camera tech could get so good that it might potentially even replace those. Now, before you start to laugh and then piss your pants, consider that no one in a million years would ever have thought that a cell phone could do as much as it could today. Not just 10 years ago, no one imagined. I mean, your cell phone was supposed to make calls without the wire, and that was about it. And now they can almost change your oil and give you a rub job, and you can get it all for under $1,000. So Sony has a couple of coming to Jesus meetings to consider here very, very soon. If you consider cameras like their RX 100 line, when they first came out with the RX 100, that camera was about a $450, $500 camera. You move all the way up to this generation, the RX the RX 100 Mark V, and it is now a $1,000 camera. If you take a look at the Sony a6000 when it first came out, it was roughly about a $500 camera. I happened to pick mine up. It was an open box buy at Best Buy for $350. I got so lucky to get the camera. I mean, there's literally no way I'll ever sell it because I've got it so cheap. But now you look at the Sony RX or the Sony a6300, you're looking at $1,000. And if you want to bump up to the a6500, you're looking at damn near $1,500. So triple, essentially, what the a6000 was. And for them to be losing that amount of money, not necessarily that amount of money, I'm positive that they're still profitable. But there's only so many of us type photographers around. There are plenty of enthusiasts, but the hobbyists, they do not have enough money to drop $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 every single time that a new piece of camera gear comes out. Some of us are very lucky I happen to be one of them where, we have relationships with camera houses, camera manufacturers, so we get early previews or we get access. But not everyone has that. Not everyone has the ability to do that. So what do people do? Is they go for what is the easily accessible, easiestly readily available, and that 9 times out of 10 ends up being their phone. Why carry around a point and shoot? Why carry around an RX 100 Mark V when they can literally just carry their phone? I mean, it boils down to convenience, and it does that for me a lot too. So once we get up into the A7 line of Sony cameras, I really don't think that that segment generally of their camera line is going to be affected all that much. Personally, that segment for me is for people that are just truly dedicated. They are professionals. They make money with their gear. They actually have a revenue stream that will eventually pay for that gear and replace it, within months, generally, the way photography and videography and stuff goes. But is Sony's gear too expensive? I say yes. Most of what they have come out with so far has mainly been stuff for enthusiasts, for professionals. The lack of APS-C lenses is a 110% testament to that fact, and there's just no other way around it. I mean, they're not focusing on that line. They need to, because I really enjoy the images and stuff that come from these cameras. My customers enjoy the images that come from these cameras. So, I never want to lose that ability with the APS-C line. So I am extremely thankful that Sigma has kind of picked up some of that slack, made it a lot easier for us as photographers to carry lighter weight gear. And to me, that's a big deal. I love the smaller weight stuff, but it still doesn't weigh as less as my phone. So as I'm doing my daily routine, I always have this in my pocket, and there's a lot of times I don't have this with me. So genuinely, I would like to hear what you all think. I know that a lot of people bought other camera manufacturers. I know that a lot of people have kind of swapped over to different, smaller, maybe even less expensive things. I'd like to know exactly what you guys ended up picking up, and if there's anything that you would like to see change as far as their pricing. What would you like to see Sony do next? Because I do have a direct line to Sony. So for you guys to give me this level of feedback and actually leave it in the comments down below, Sony picks up on that stuff. They actually talk about, or they actually listen to what we talk about all the time. They are constantly keeping their ear to the ground, and that's the reason I try to make these types of videos, because I want to hear from you all, not just me constantly, because I'm able to take those thoughts, take the way you guys work, and actually put it out there into the world and let Sony pick up on that, because that's how we all win. And for a lot of people, I want to just tell you guys right off the bat, I am on Sony's D. I'm not going anywhere. As of right now, Sony has the best dynamic range, has some of the best autofocus, and has quite literally some of the best all-around video features in a camera. That may not be true once the Panasonic GH5 comes out, but as of yet, that's just, it's not here. It's not here. And I'm anxious to test that out, but the price of the Sony gear, whether it be from their RX line of cameras, because even now the RX 10 Mark III is up to $1,500, the RX 100 Mark V is up to $1,000, the Sony a6500 is all the way up to $1,500, and just about every single piece of glass that they put out is so much more over and above what I believe it ought to be, at least by $100 to $200 in a lot of cases on the APS-C line. And I know that they're trying to attach the Zeiss name to some of those FE lenses. I just don't know that it it actually screams out for that ultimate premium price that Sony is charging for it. So while they may have a pretty good lock on the high-end enthusiasts and the professionals, I don't necessarily think they have a full grip on the entire market. And if they want market dominance, if they want to spread this feature wealth out to all of their potential customers, they really do have to diversify their pricing schemes. And that's just my opinion. But again, I would love to hear yours. So at any rate, guys, thanks again for stopping here and hanging out with me today, guys. I appreciate it. Please leave all your comments, suggestions, and ideas below, because it's always good for us to kind of see where other people are sitting and to share those ideas, share those concepts with each other so that we get a better understanding of how other photographers are using their gear. So, anyway, guys, thanks again for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Warren Puckett, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. Peace out!